How bad is it at Ford right now that in the face of tariffs and price increases,
these new tariffs are a factor for car buyers?
They're actually advertising that they're lowering their prices. Look at this. And that's why, right?
Ford Motor Company giving all customers their employee discount, even as prices are expected to rise.
So here's the news out of Ford. Right now, in the face of tariffs, in the face of all these crazy price increases that are supposed to hit the market, well, they're advertising now that they're going to offer employee pricing.
It will offer employee pricing for everyone through June 2nd.
Offering employee pricing to everyone.
To you and me, to everybody, out of their kindness of their heart. The employee discount on this F-150 right here, they end up discounting it by what, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, whatever the discount is. They can add whatever addendums they want to on it, so they can add add-ons. But throughout this video, I'm going to tell you how all of this employee pricing, all of these discounts are actually a load of. So here we go. We got tariffs, right? We got price increases, and we have Ford now that is offering employee discount. They're offering Plan A discounting to employee discounting to everyone in the country. So what this equates to is that a lot of these vehicles, as long as a dealership opts into this program, are going to be offered to you for significantly under invoice, at least depending on the source that you read, maybe a little bit over invoice, a little bit under invoice, some cases $2,500 under invoice, in some cases I'm reading at invoice. So pick your source wisely. From what I interpret from this is that, okay, Ford dealers that opt into the plan, they're going to be able to offer you this employee discount, and it's going to be a little bit back of invoice. So there are specific vehicles that are excluded from this program, and that is these. I think it's the F-250s. Make sure it's F-250, not F-350. Yes, F-250. There was another one. Also, Expeditions are excluded, and anything with a Raptor badge. You think Bronco Raptor, F-150 Raptor, all of those are excluded. And actually I haven't seen one of these. Ranger Raptors would be excluded. Also, this one's a used one. I don't think I've ever seen a new one sitting on a lot. This is a 2024. It could still be a new one. How many miles are on it? 9,000 miles. So this one's basically new. This one must have been driven by the store manager for a little bit, and that's why it's got 9,000 miles, and now they're selling it as a used car. I will say one main advantage that Ford has over a lot of other manufacturers is final assembly plant on this Bronco right here is in Michigan, and most of their vehicles are going to be similar. Their F-150s, the number one selling truck in the U.S., is assembled in the U.S. Now, here's the thing with these tariffs is that we have parts. We have parts that come from other places. There's going to be parts in these F-150s that come from China that are going to have extra money added onto them, and it's going to increase the cost of what it takes to make all these vehicles. Now there are a few of Ford's vehicles that are assembled in Mexico, and those are going to get hit the worst, but they're not their high volume products. It's going to be your F-150s, and this is an advantage that Ford is going to have over a lot of your other manufacturers because they do a lot of their assembly in the U.S. I want to show you something that's very surprising to me, and this is the most that I have ever seen of any of these vehicles in one spot. Look at this right here. You know what these are? These are Mavericks. You know how hot these were a year ago? And now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 sitting on one dealer lot. 12 months ago, I was doing videos where I'd run to 6 Ford lots that were around my area trying to find one Maverick, and I found like 2 that day. That hasn't been that long ago, and now Ford, even the cheap stuff, I mean, still $35,000, $40,000, $45,000 for some of these Mavericks. That's not cheap. In this market though, that's cheap for a truck. And you can see consumers, they're saying no. Also, I have to apologize. I just called a Maverick a truck. I'm sorry. It's an El Camino. It's a car with a crossover SUV with a bed on the back. I apologize. So now we also have Stellantis, which is coming out and saying that they're going to also offer this employee pricing for everyone. This great American program that they're that they're going to implement for all of their consumers. So what we could possibly have in the market, this is another scenario, is now, even with price increases coming, we could have a race to the bottom because we have brands that are in such trouble. Ram, Stellantis, in horrible trouble. Ford with all of their F-150s sitting absolutely everywhere, 103 days supply and rising. And if the economy gets worse, well, people are going to buy fewer vehicles. And if prices continue to rise, well, people are going to buy fewer vehicles. We already have a problem at these dealerships. Ford is doing what they can right now with this program. Stellantis is doing what they can right now with this program to try to help dealers actually move inventory. But might be too little, it might be too late. And if that's the case, then we could see a scenario where, okay, Ford came out with employee pricing. Now Stellantis does to make themselves more competitive. And then you get other manufacturers that do the same thing. Well, they might find out that it doesn't work, or if it's not too much. Then Ford comes out and say, well, you know what? Every one of our F-150s, we're going to lower them by $15,000. Then you have Stellantis come out and say, well, every Ram truck, we'll lower by $18,000. And then you can have this major race to the bottom because manufacturers are having a hard time moving these trucks because the economy is slowing. And when the economy is slowing, I can guarantee you that these $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 F-150s are not going to move any better than they're moving right now. And right now, we already have a major problem at a lot of these Ford dealer lots. So if we have that, you can have this big domino effect, race to the bottom, all these manufacturers, and that's going to affect all the manufacturers. There's still going to be some that are going to continue to have pricing power. Your Lexus, your Toyota, you're going to have your luxury brands, BMW are going to have pricing power. They're not going to get affected as much as brands like Ford, like Nissan, like Stellantis. Those consumers that buy those products are going to get hit the worst in an inflationary environment, in a recessionary environment. And those are the people that are just not going to spend money. They're not going to be able to buy a $70,000 F-150. So here's the problem with all this. Well, right now, Ford has such an inventory problem. We know with their F-150s, we're calling them F-150s, and we know that Ford just released that their day supply of inventory is over 100 days supply at all these dealerships right here. So here's the thing, and most of these vehicles that are out at these dealership lots, they're still 2024s. Ford is trying to actually get rid of a lot of inventory right now, and this is a really, I feel like it's a good way. It doesn't mean anything for the educated buyer, someone who's looking at the market, but they're doing this massive marketing campaign, and for the average buyer just looking around saying, okay, well, prices are about to go up, but Ford is offering me a discount. How American are they? Well, this is a good thing to get that consumer, right, to come buy one of these F-150s that they have sitting around their lot. But really, for the educated buyer, right now, you can go and get one of these F-150s, and you can pay significantly under what this program is going to allow. Now, the reason why I say that is because invoice price, what they're going to give you the employee discount on, invoice price is there's very thin margins for a lot of these dealers, and in a lot of cases on even like an F-150 like this, the invoice price could be just $2,000 or $3,000 back of what MSRP is. And on a $60,000, $65,000 truck, that equates to a very small percentage. And really what we've seen now, if you go and actually negotiate with the right Ford dealer who wants to move inventory, who wants to do volume, I would even anticipate a dealer like this one that I'm staying on right now. They have tons and tons and tons of trucks. Big volume dealer. I've seen them move with the market as far as move price adjustments as things have gotten worse in the market, as they have increased their inventory. I would imagine at a dealership like this right here, without employee pricing, without even looking at invoice, you would be able to come and get 10, 15, maybe even at some dealerships that are really, really, really needing to move some of these F-150s, maybe even up to 20% off some of these trucks, specifically the 2024s. So in many cases right now, the reason why this program, all this grandeur, and it seems so great, why it doesn't really matter is because even before the program went into effect, you should be able to get a better price on these trucks than what the program is even offering you. So yes, it looks good, looks great in the face of America struggling and the economy in question marks and prices in question marks, prices going up. Well, Ford in all their American glory, what are they going to do for you? They're going to lower the prices of these F-150s to higher than what you could have gotten them in the first place. And I talk about invoice price quite a bit on my channel, and what invoice price is what a dealership will pay for one of these vehicles, and that's on paper. But here's the pushback. Invoice price really doesn't matter, because yes, on paper it's what a dealership is paying for the vehicles, what they're writing a check to Ford for a vehicle for, but there's so much extra money that comes from the manufacturer that can really offset that. So even if these Ford dealers are allowing you to buy these vehicles with this special plan back of invoice, well, customers are like, well, how are you even making money? What is this? How does this even make sense? It's because the invoice prices, they don't matter. So what you have is you have the invoice price, what they pay for it, and then on top of that, a dealership will get holdback. It can be anywhere between like 3 and 6% on every single vehicle that a manufacturer will kick back to them. And specifically in this plan that we're talking about, there's extra money that's also coming from the manufacturer to allow dealerships to do this. So for every vehicle they sell under this plan, the manufacturer is kicking back the money, the difference between the invoice and I guess the MSRP. I don't know. I've heard that a manufacturer on a lot of these vehicles, if they're kicking it back $2,000 back of invoice, I've heard that the manufacturers, when I say the manufacturer, Ford, is going to be kicking them back $2,000 if it's in the case of that particular deal, plus a little bit more. So the dealerships are still going to make money. They're just not taking losses with this plan. Manufacturer's going to kick them back money. They're still going to get their holdback. They're still going to get their floor plan assistance, which is money that Ford gives to Ford dealerships to help them with their financing of these vehicles. So these Ford dealers, they don't own these trucks outright. They actually finance them from Ford, and then Ford then helps them with their finance payments by giving them X percentage on each vehicle to help for floor plan assistance. It's all convoluted, right? So, and then on top of that, they get marketing budgets, they get advertising assistance, so they're getting money on each one of these vehicles also to help them advertise the vehicle that they're selling. So there's tons and tons and tons of money that's coming from these manufacturers, and traditionally in the car market, this is how car dealerships would make money. They'd make zero money in most cases selling every one of these vehicles on the front end, right? They don't actually make money selling the vehicle to the consumer. How they make money is all back end. They make money from F&I, they make money from their holdback, they make money from their floor plan assistance, their doc fees. If they're able to sell a consumer add-ons, that's how they make their money. They have traditionally never made money actually selling a one-for-one product. So a customer like me, if I would go in and buy this F-150, it's a 250, which by the way is excluded from this program. If I would go in and pay cash, pay no add-ons, and then they would get them to take off the doc fee, and I would basically get it at what they paid for it, and they weren't able to make any money on me from products, from F&I, anything like that, because I paid cash. They would still actually make money on the vehicle. They're just not making it off of me. What they would do is they would get that money from Ford and still be able to make thousands of dollars on each and every one of these vehicles if they sold them for exactly what they paid for them, and the consumer just paid cash. So making money on no products, but they still make money from the manufacturer. And I've recently seen many videos of, hearing about dealerships that they're non-negotiable right now because of the uncertainty of the tariffs, of saying, okay, well, prices are going to go up 25% on some of these vehicles. They're not. You're not going to have a situation where any vehicle on the market goes up by 25% because of these price increases. the manufacturers, they're not stupid. They know that if they raise an individual price of a vehicle by 25%, that they're not going to sell. If you take a $50,000 vehicle, what's 25% of that? $12,500, and you increase it to $62,500 on a $50,000 vehicle, you're never going to sell it. We already have a situation right now where the average car price is $50,000, and dealerships are already having problems moving it now. And now we have this threat of a recession, and whether or not it's true or not, or it's actually going to happen, or if people are tighter with their money, well, there's going to be a lot of people that hear that recession word and the threats of it, and they're just not going to spend money, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a lot of cases, where even if it's not a reality, well, it becomes a reality for a lot of individuals that actually have money because they're paying attention to the markets. They're paying attention to the stock market when it dumps 12% in 2 days, and that makes people very scared. And when they're scared, they're not buying a $70,000 F-150. They're buying a $50,000 car that they might not need right now. They're just going to keep driving what they're driving and hold on to their money. So all that to say is that the market for car dealers, for manufacturers, is going to get weaker. So they're not going to increase any price by 25%. If anything, they'll spread it out across all of their vehicles. Some that are assembled in Mexico, some that are assembled in the US, some that are assembled in Canada. They're going to spread out all of these added costs across all of their vehicles. But in that case, I think that they're going to learn very quickly that they're not going to be able to do that. And a lot of these manufacturers, I don't think, have the pricing power to be able to do it. They might come out and say, okay, we're going to raise our prices X% or whatever, and share some of the cost with the consumers, but the consumers are just not going to be there. So I think that they're going to find very quickly that they might be able to, on the front end, try to increase their prices, but then they're going to have to just lower them again or add incentives. And I think even if these tariffs hold, even if there's not any negotiations and we get into this trade war, I think 3 months from now, we're going to be looking at this and be like, okay, well, vehicle prices are actually cheaper right now than they were when we were increasing all these prices. And why is that? Well, it's because these manufacturers, they still have to sell cars. These dealerships, they still have to sell cars. And if they go to increasing prices, from what I'm hearing from some salesmen, 25%, no, 25% is not even in the cards. But if they go to even increasing it by any percentage, then they're going to drastically cut the amount of sales that they're able to make. People are not going to rush out and go buy cars because they're higher price. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Manufacturers, dealerships might on the front end try to increase their prices, but they're going to get hit with a brick wall, and they're going to find very quickly that they're going to have to lower prices very quickly.